He's still on hold. He's still on.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of our series of webinars at Exadel, mostly about Tiggzi. This time we're going to be looking at, my name's Charlie Cowens. I work in the marketing department here, and I'll be working with Max Katz to present this. We'll do most of the presenting for this webinar. What we're going to zoom in on today is the new plugins feature, which allows you to pre-package parts of a project so that you can essentially have services and the sort of things you normally have to set up when you're making a project already pre-packaged and ready to go. And then we'll be talking about the plugin catalog, where you'll be able to use public plugins as we start filling that up. And then we'll be doing a specific example that I believe is going to involve using an SMS service. So let's continue along here. There's some information about Max and myself. Let's see. And here's a little about Exadel. We're a global software engineering company. Tiggzi is actually a spin-off from our work in doing projects involving mobile development for different clients. So we've sort of spun it off as a mobile development platform for others. Okay, and now we're here at our agenda. But before we jump into the details, I'd like to explain a few housekeeping details. First of all, this webinar is being recorded, so everyone, at a certain point, everyone will receive an email if you've registered for this webinar with the link to that. And we also put them up on YouTube as an additional way to get this information out there. In your lower right corner, you should have a questions section where you can post questions. You can post questions during the presentation, and also at the end we'll have a brief Q&A period. And I'll hand it over to Max now, and we can get on with this webinar. Thank you for coming. We appreciate the fact that people are able to take time out of their busy days to attend these things, and we'll try and be as economical with your time as possible. All right, Max?
Thank you, Charlie. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. So the plan, as you see, is pretty simple. We're going to build an app that connects to AT&T SMS service, where you can actually send SMS messages. And once I build the app and we test it, I'm going to use the services from the app, and I'm going to actually create a plugin. And that, of course, makes it possible to reuse the services in any other app that you build. All right? But as always, let me first quickly go through what Tiggzi Mobile App Builder is, and there are just a few things that you need to know. All right? So first, it's a cloud-based mobile app builder where you can build HTML5 and Phonegap mobile apps. Right? And again, the real value is that it makes it super easy and fast to build apps. And again, you'll see today how quickly I can build an app that talks to a cloud-based API. And again, in this case, it's AT&T SMS service. Right. So here are the things that you need to know in Tiggzi. So first, again, you build the UI with jQuery Mobile, HTML5, and JavaScript. So these are sort of standard, mobile technologies. There's nothing proprietary, but this is how you build the UI. Next, once you got the UI, you want to, of course, get data. And how do you connect to data? Is via REST, or using REST services. So again, any service out there that is exposed as REST, you can connect to. Now, it can be a public service, meaning there is no authentication, for example. But of course, you can also consume services which require authentication. And of course, like in the AT&T case, it will require to authenticate before you can actually use the API. But again, the key is any REST service out there you can consume, you can use in your app. And again, that's one of the keys. We get a lot of questions. Well, how do you get a database into this app? And again, the answer is very simple: is you simply connect to a service or database that would expose its services via REST. Right? Now this is all ties everything together. So you got the UI, you got the services, and of course you can also use different events and actions to invoke the API. So for example, on button click, we will invoke the service, or we can write custom JavaScript. Again, being able to write custom JavaScript or actually any custom markup, HTML for example, is also very important because that allows you to customize the app really in any way you want. And of course, you can also invoke Phonegap API, which gives you access to device features, for example, like the camera or the barcode scanner and other APIs. So, and again, this is also an important point, is that we get a lot of questions asked, well, how do you do this? How do you do this? And again, the end result is just a HTML5 jQuery, JavaScript mobile app. So really, anything you can do with those tools, I mean, you can actually also customize the app the same way in Tiggzi Builder. All right. So testing, obviously, testing is very important, and testing is incredibly simple in Tiggzi. There is a test button, and you can launch the app in the browser. You can also make the app link public. That allows you to share the app with anyone you want so they can see how it works. Now, it's a URL. That means if you make it public, for example, you can also open it on your device because that's where the app actually will be running. The QR code is just, if you have an app on your device, you can scan it and it will just open the app. It's just an easy way to open the link so you don't have to type it. Now, if you, for example, use any native features, as in Phonegap API, and obviously testing in the browser is no longer an option, it's just not going to work. So that's why we have a special native app, which, as you can see, will list all your apps that you created, and then you can simply select an app, and it will download the Phonegap app and launch it on your device. So that's another way you can quickly test your apps. Okay. Next is, once you're done, you can easily export the app, and you get different options. You can export the web resources. That means you get HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. For Android and iOS, we'll also give you the source code, so you get an Eclipse project or an Xcode project. For Android, you can actually get a binary file, and you can actually get a release version. A release version means the file is ready for the Android market, or I guess now it's called the Android Play market, I believe. And again, you're basically 5 minutes away from publishing the app. 5 minutes means you have to upload a few screenshots, a description, and then just wait for the market to make your app available. iOS, for obvious reasons, is a little more involved. You need to provide your developer information. So right now or today, you can build it yourself. That's one option. You can also use a service such as Phonegap Build, which is a cloud service where it will build an app for you. But we are working on an iOS build, all right? And it's coming up soon, where you will be able to basically, the same way you get an Android build, you'll be able to get an iOS build. So it's going to be a very nice feature. All right. Again, I mentioned Phonegap. Again, you can build Phonegap apps. Basically, what it is, it's a mobile web app inside a native wrapper, but that gives you two main things. First, you can put it in the app market, Apple or Android. That's one thing. So you can, for example, sell your apps. But the other thing is that you can also access device features. And again, for example, camera, geolocation, and other APIs. So those are, I guess, the two main features why you would want to use Phonegap API. And so again, you can use any API. Every project that you create in Tiggzi comes with Phonegap included, and so you can use any API directly. Also, to make it simpler, I think we provide some components which are based on top of the API. As you can see, it's a camera, barcode scanner, contact, and geolocation. So again, you don't actually need to use the API directly. You just use these components, which of course are based on Phonegap API. All right. So going next is there's also a social aspect. All right. And I'm sure you're familiar with Google Docs, but you can share the project for collaboration with any number of other users, and you can basically develop the app or work on the app at the same time, but of course also at different times. But again, you can work at the same on the same app. And for example, you can chat in the app, so that makes it this social mobile development. Lastly, there's also you can greatly customize the UI, and I'm going to show you a little bit, and just one or two slides down, we just released a bunch of new jQuery mobile themes, which are really, really nice. But this is just showing you that you can create your own custom themes if you would like. All right. And just to summarize the feature set, so we've got Tiggzi Mobile App Builder. I mean, basically what it is, it's a builder, right? It builds mobile apps. And so the resulting app, again, is sort of a standard mobile app, today, which includes jQuery mobile, HTML5, JavaScript, and of course CSS. And you can also use Phonegap. So again, we got Tiggzi, which is sort of the builder, and then you build a jQuery HTML5 mobile app. So this is sort of the technology stack. So it's kind of easier for you to understand what's happening. All right. So now that we are at the plugins, which is a new feature that we released a couple of weeks ago, and the basic idea is this: is that you can create services. You've got services in the app. In an app, you've got pages, and so what you would like to do, you would like to reuse those elements. Right? For example, a service, particularly if you're connecting to, let's use Twitter search. If you want to use it in more than one app, it would be much simpler if you could just say, hey, I would like to add a Twitter search without having to specify the URL, the input parameters, the output parameters every single time, right? You just say Twitter search, and you got the service in your app. So this is the basic idea. So you can prepackage services, but you can also do pages, and you can even create project templates, right? And then once you created the plugin, you can then use it in any other app. Another very nice feature is that we're launching a public plugin catalog, right? By default, of course, when you make a plugin, it's only available to you. But we're also going to be launching a public catalog where everyone will see the plugins available, and you'll be able to add them to your app. Another very good example is there is a service called SendGrid, which allows you to send emails, right? So you connect to their API, and they will send an email. So that's a service that probably would be useful in many apps. So that's one example of a public service. Again, you don't have to go and search and find what it is. You say, what, I want to send email, and then you, a couple of clicks, and you have a service that sends emails in your app. Right, and this is how it looks. Again, you can enter some information, specify the name, the version, some description. You can flag the category, but again, you'll see how this is actually done when I build the demo app. And again, I mentioned this, but this is just to show you that we got a bunch of new jQuery mobile themes, which are really, really cool, and they they're very nice. This is just obviously just 9 of them, and we got a lot more. So you're not longer limited to just the 5 default themes that jQuery provides, jQuery Mobile provides. So you can use these nice themes in your app. All right. So this would be a good time to actually jump into a demo. So give me a sec here. All right, so I'm going to wait a second here, wait for everyone for their screens to get updated. All right, so as I said, we're going to start with creating a new app first, and then we'll take services from it and package them as plugins. All right, so we click Start button. All right, and then we go into App Builder. All right, and so here we actually need to make a choice. A mobile web, that means it's a pure mobile web, meaning HTML, JavaScript, CSS. The mobile app is actually HTML, JavaScript, CSS plus Phonegap. So again, when you're creating a new project, you sort of need to make a decision which option you want to go with. So we're going to go with the mobile app, which again includes Phonegap. And then we're going to select the blank mobile app. So I mentioned project templates. So if you create a project template, if you create a plugin, which is also a project template, you'll be able to see the project right here. So again, you can then, of course, use it to create any new apps. All right, so let's go next step. We're going to create the app. So we'll call this AT&T SMS service. I'm going to click Create. So it's going to be a few seconds for the builder to load. All right, almost there. All right, so just a few more seconds. I'm going to wait for your for the screen to get updated. All right, so you should see a phone frame. So that's your working area, and of course jQuery mobile components and also other components on the left-hand side. All right, so the first step is we're going to build the UI. Right, so the UI is going to be pretty simple, just for sending SMS messages. We can say app here, and first we're going to get an input component, so which is a simple drag and drop. This is what we get. And so the default theme is one of the new themes that we just released. But you can easily go to and switch it here. So I'm going to go with this one, the swatch C. And you'll see in a second it has a really nice color for buttons. All right, so we got input. I'm going to make this a placeholder. I'm going to put phone number, make this a placeholder. And I'm going to also get a text area component. Right, we're going to delete this here. And we're going to get a button component. So you can see these buttons, they're very kind of on the darker background. Anyhow, we got the button, and we're going to say send SMS. And we can also put a little icon maybe. So this decides the position of the icon. And then this is, we can set an icon. So I guess something like this should be fine. All right? And again, testing, again, is easily done. So what we need to do is there is a test button. Clicking the test button, it opens the app in the browser. All right, and so this is what we get. Again, this is a real app running in the browser. Now, so this is, of course, the link is private by default. I'm going to make it public so you guys can also try it. So to make the link public, all right. So what I'm going to do in a second, I'm going to copy and paste the link into the GoToMeeting so you guys can click on it. And I'm going to come back here. So if you would like, you can actually scan this QR code as well. So give me a sec here. Let me put this in the chat window so you guys can have it. All right. So, and let me open back this QR code. So you can, the QR code, of course, makes it easier for you to open it on your phones. I mean, it's not going to work yet, obviously, because we just built the UI. But again, let me know if you guys, any of you can send a message into the chat just to let us know you can open it, and then we'll continue. All right, so I see it works, so this is good. Again, this is it for the UI portion, at least today. But I mean, you get the idea. I mean, I was able to build this in what, 30 seconds. Now, of course, you can also build. You can create multiple screens, and you can build. You can navigate with Windows screens. You can run JavaScript. So really, you can create the complete UI for your app, right? So, which is already a very, very nice, thing to be able to do. You build the complete UI. But of course, that's just part of what this tool can do. And so next, what we're going to do, we're going to connect to a service, right? So let me do that. All right. So we're going to go to project, and for AT&T, we're going to have to create two services because one, we have to get a token that we have to authenticate, right? So we get a special token. And then we use on the next request. So AT&T knows that that's us, right? So again, first we're going to get the token, and then on the second one we're actually going to send the message. As for AT&T, I don't remember if there's a link on the last slide, but we can always add it. Is that it's the developer.att.com. That's where you can look, and you can also sign up for their API. So SMS is one of them. You can also, I believe, send multimedia messages, and there's some other API, for example, in-app or carrier billing API, so where you can, for example, build an app, and then if someone wants to buy your service that you provide, they can charge that to their, AT&T bill, as an example. Again, it's developer.att.com, but we'll also put a link up so you guys know where to find it. All right, so let's create the service. So we go to project, and then we select create new service, and we're going to call this get token. All right, so I'm going to click. All right, now the URL is pretty long, or at least I don't want to type it by hand. So what I did, I created a little cheat sheet for me here. And so I'm going to just copy this. So copy. And I'm going to put the URL, okay? And I'm going to change the method to post because this is just how the service works. It wants me to do a post. And as for the content, it wants it to be just URL encoded. So it's not in JSON format. Again, this is just how the service works. All right? And we're also going to use proxy, because we're going to be running the app in the browser, and so to bypass the cross-domain security, we're actually going to go to a Tiggzi proxy and then make a service call. All right, so this is our service. Next, we have to define parameters, and it has 4, and so they're also in my cheat sheet here. So there's client ID, client secret. So let's create them. Client ID. Client secret, scope, and let's see one more. Let's just copy. All right, so we got the 4 params. Now, the client ID, client secrets, again, I don't want to type them by hand. That's why we're going to just do copy and paste here, because obviously they're pretty long. All right, and then client secret, get this. The scope is SMS, so that's pretty simple. And the last one is we're going to get this right here. All right, so this is, again, this is how just the service works. every service is obviously different, but you go to developer.att.com, you read how it works, and and sort of what parameters it needs for input. All right. Now we can also test this right away. Inside Tiggzi, so there's test connection. Click test, and then we're going to click test again. All right. And you can see we get a response back. So this is the actual, this is the token that we want to actually use, all right? But what we also, next, we need to create the service response. So this is the service input, right? And then next is creating the service response. So we can actually, we don't want to do it by hand. So we can click this button, populate response structure, and then we'll automatically create the service response based on the sample test that we just did. So again, it's very easy to try services this way, where you do need to provide input, but then the output is automatically created for you. All right? So this is what we get. Okay. So we're going to save. Let's create one more service. Let's see. Hopefully it's on the network. Let's wait a few more seconds here. All right. That's not part of the webinar, but we'll go with it. All right, let's try one more time.
The test of your character.
Let's see, a few more seconds. If not, what I'm going to do, I'll just reload, and we'll just go from there. All right. Well, let's. Why don't we just reload? And the only thing I'm just afraid I'm probably might lose the service, but that's okay. We'll just, I guess, recreate it. So leave page. And apologize. Again, that definitely wasn't part of the plan. Let's see here. Let's try. I hope it's not my connection that just does that.
No, look, other people.
All right, so I see people are connected. Well, let's see. It could be just my laptop, so that could be a problem. All right, so this is the app. So let's go. All right, let's hope this works better. Hey, at least you guys know this is the real stuff, and not a pre-recorded thing. All right, so let's see, it's loading, so that's a good sign. All right, well, we got the UI because we saved before, but let's see if we got the service. Again, we might have, it's possible. All right, so okay, well, no, it didn't get saved. But let's create it quickly again. And so we'll do a post, this is, change it to this, and then there was client ID, client secret, scope, and the last one, is grant type. Here we go. All right, save. Okay, so this worked this time. Let's get the values now. So this is 1. And this is SMS. All right, test connection, testing again. All right, same result. This is the token that we want. We're creating the response, close, and save. All right, so this one much better. Let's close now, and let's create another service quickly. So we get service, and we'll call this send SMS. Okay, so we got the service, and again, going to my sheet, this is the URL that I want. All right, putting the URL, and it's going to be a post again, and the data type is just URL encoded, it's not in JSON format. Okay, going with Tiggzi proxy, and it's for the request parameters. This is address, right? This is the phone number. This is the actual message, and then this is the token. So this token that I create is actually going to be put into the URL right here. So this is just, again, kind of a dynamic option, so you can insert part, you can create part of the service from request parameters. All right, save and close. Right, so we're back here. So now I created the two services. Now we want to actually add them to the screen. And so an easy way to do it, you can actually now drag and drop them from this project view. So just like this. This is one. I just changed the name, so this is called get token. And one more, we say send SMS. All right. All right. So now we put them on the page. Next, we have to do the data binding. Basically, we have to bind the UI to service and then back service to UI. And for that, we're going to go to data mapping, right? And so this is what we get. So I selected the first service, and then this is the input. Okay. So there is really nothing to bind in this case because all the values are preset. But we do want to save the actual token that we get back. And we're actually going to save it into local storage, right? And the local storage, in this case, this is just the HTML5 local storage. So I'm going to create a new variable, right? And access token, and I'm just going to map it like this, right? So again, I invoke the service, I get the access token back, and I'm going to put it into local storage under this name. All right? Let's now switch to SMS and go into request mapping. So now I want to map values from the page to the service. And for that, I'm going to open the page. So this first input is the phone number. Now, you can see it says mobile text input. This is just a default name. Of course, you can rename it, which it makes sense in a bigger app because this way you'll know what the inputs are. I mean, here I only have 2, so that's pretty straightforward. All right, so I take text and I just map it like this. Okay. Now, the format that the service expects is a little bit different. This value is just a plain number, but it actually wants me to add a tel, before the number, the word tel. So for that, I'm going to actually run some JavaScript, which is going to look like this. Right. So again, I'm taking the value from the page. I am kind of a prepending telephone column, and so this is the format that the service expects. And again, so this is just JavaScript, so really anything goes here, but this gives you a lot of power and flexibility as when you do mapping. All right, so this is how it looks. For the message, it's pretty straightforward. We just map the message just directly, and of course, we're going to take the value from the local storage and map it to the as token for the service. All right. As for response, we actually not really interested in the response. I mean, it's here, but if you do look at the API later, you'll see actually you get I believe you did get some ID, which you can then use to check if the message was actually delivered. Right? So there is an API to actually test. So again, but we're not going to worry about it today. So all right, let's go back to design. So we got the services, we got the data mapping. Before we can try it, we of course need to invoke these services. So we're going to click SMS, right? We're going to the button. We're going to go to events, and we're going to select click event, right? And on click event, we're going to first invoke, the get token service, right? Now, once we invoke that, we also want to invoke the send SMS. But we have an important point here is we want to make sure that the send SMS is only invoked once we get the token. So we cannot invoke them one after another. For example, because they could be actually once the get token is still being invoked, it's possible that the send SMS will be invoked while we're waiting for the first to respond. So for that, we want to invoke the second service on the success event of the first one. All right, and again, this makes it possible so you know the exact order in which services will be invoked. All right, so we go in success, invoke service, and we select send SMS. Right, and as just a little visual indication that everything went fine, what we can do is we can say if we get an error message, right? So this is the send SMS event. If error, we just just to indicate, we're going to run some JavaScript and say alert error sending message. All right, so this is in case of an error, but we also would like to say in case of success, we would like to say that everything was fine. Now, before we try it, I do want to tell you that, and I'm going to actually have Charlie test this for me, but I do want to tell you, so right now the way API works, so you can only send messages to AT&T phone numbers, right? Again, nothing to do with us. This is just how the API works. From what I know, they are planning to make it possible that you can send messages to other carriers. But again, if you have an AT&T number, you're welcome to try it, or maybe you know someone who has an AT&T phone number. Now, if you try to send it to a non-AT&T number, you should get the error message. So I guess that's also a way for you to test if the app works. All right, so let's see. I think that's it. So why don't we save, and why don't we launch this? So I'm going to have Charlie send me a message, and again, you guys can try the same thing.
Same link that you sent to people before?
Yeah, it should be the same. It should be the same link. Yes, you just if you're running it, you just have to refresh the page because obviously I updated the JavaScript. So if you guys get it working, just send the message. But again, only AT&T numbers. Well, let's see. Don't get any messages at all. Let's see. Let's see in the chat if anyone got it working. Let me go back here and see.
Oh, someone wants you to post the QR code again.
QR code. All right. Sure. And sorry, you guys have to scan the upper one. It's this one.
Okay, we got it.
All right, so let me see. For some reason, it's not sending the message. So let's see. Let's try. Let's look at the mapping. I'm going to just look at it quickly. If not, we'll just move on.
Put a 1 in front of the number?
I don't think you need the 1, just the area code. But let's see. So these values seem to be correct. Let's see. Harrison. This looks fine. Yes, this looks fine. Oh, I know. I forgot to. You see, when my thing forgot to check this, use Tiggzi proxy. So let's try one more time. So Charlie, go ahead and reload the page. I think that was the problem. Again, when my service had to reload, I think that's what happened. But let's try. If not, we'll just go on. Because again, the key is to show how to create plugins from here. But make sure you reload. Oh, and reload, yes.
All right, so let's see. Oh.
Right. Let me. Let's see if anyone got it. Oh, error sending message. All right. Well, at least we got the service. We got the services. Let's try one more time. Error sending message. All right. Well, let's do one more check. Let's see. This is all right, and this looks right. An error. Well, what I'm going to do is I'll figure out why it's not. Oh, now it's message sent. All right, let me see if I got the let's see if I get the message. Not yet, but all right. I'm going to continue, and then I can I'll come back, and then what I can do, I'll post something on my blog. But again, there's something probably with the services. Maybe again has to do something with I had to reload. So all right, now let's assume the service is working. So what you do next is how do you create a plugin? Well, you go to export. So this is the screen where you can export the source code and also get the Android binary. And then this is right here, right? So Tiggzi plugin. So this is what you want to do. Tiggzi plugin. This would get the screen. So we can set an icon. Let's get a file here. If we can AT&T, for example. All right, and we can select it, and then we're going to say AT&T SMS service. You can specify the version, and then you can select any of the categories, right? And you can give a description. So AT&T service for sending SMS messages, all right? And so next is you can see that you can export the entire project, of course. Actually, I'm just looking at my phone, and I did get a message.
Yeah, one of them succeeded.
Yeah, so something is, we'll have to see. Oh, you know, I think what the problem, I know what the problem is. I think there's a rate. Probably other people try it at the same time. There is a rate how many you can send.
Oh.
So that's probably, so yeah, I actually get the text, but I think because other folks were trying, and there's a rate, you can't send too many messages at the same time. So, but again, I did get the message. So it works at the end. But going back here, you can see that you can export the entire project, but you can also select the services that I just created. All right, you can see right here, you can make this plugin to be a project template. Right, And the last option is that you can make this plugin publicly available. So for all the users, this option will be actually disabled by default, because if you want to make a service public, right, we want to we want to test it first and make sure it works, right? Because we don't want people just publishing plugins or services which don't work, or but basically, yeah, which don't work and don't provide value to the community. So again, if you do have a service that you want us to make public, and again, keep in mind, public will be able for all the users. Now, if you keep it private, then it's available only to you. But let's get this here. So we get this plugin, click export, all right, and we get this. So right away, how do you then? It was actually created. How do you get the plugin? Well, there is a button right here, and you can see now the plugin. All right. Now, this is not probably as interesting, so let me exit this project and create a new one, and you'll see how you can actually add these services. So cancel. All right. And so once you create a plugin, you're going to see another tab here, plugins. Okay. And that's where you're actually going to see the service. So this is the service. But let's go back to apps. And if you click one more time, you'll be able to actually, you see some more information. You'll be able to delete the plugin. You'll be able to open the plugin for editing. So creating a new project. All right, so we go to App Builder. And we go to Mobile App. Right now, it's not here because I didn't select it to be a template. So we go to going to next step. All right. So first of all, you can see Add Plugin. So once you have a plugin, you're actually going to see this. So AT&T with SMS, right? I'm going to click Add Plugins, and you can see, right? This is my service right here, right? So basically, once you create a project, it will be those two services will be in there. Now, that's one way to do it, but let me just create without plugin. All right, so again, it's a new project. All right, so we created a brand new project, and then we go to right here, and you can see, right, we got our plugin, which again consists of two services, and we can say import plugin. And if I now go to services, right, they are right there. All right. Now, of course, the way this works is if I look at the request parameters, then of course everything is preset here. Now, it might work for you as a private plugin, but of course, it's not going to make a lot of sense for you to have your app application, information for everyone. So again, if you want to make it public, you would of course want to delete this information. But if you also want to, for example, share this service, inside your team, then you could also, of course, remove this information, and maybe every app, every time you use it will be a different app, and you'll be able to just specify the client ID, client secret, and so on. All right. Let's see. Let me show you one more thing quickly. Let me close this, and let me go back to my app. Yeah, let me go back, and I'm going to show you one more thing. Is that how do you export this as a template? So this is the service that I created. Let's go open it again. And again, it will be the last thing, and then we'll go into Q&A. Right. So yeah. So the service does work. Charlie just sent me another text, and it worked. So again, I think the error messages had to do with just too many people trying to send a message at the same time.
All right.
All right. So, well, let's see that we didn't run into connection problems again. All right. Well, there's definitely some network problem. That we're having here for some reason. Now let's try. Well, let me try to load this again. The last thing we're going to show you is basically you go to the same screen and then you just export it as a template, the project template. It looks like we're having some network issues here. At least I'm having. But I can see that Charlie is showing me we've got just a few minutes left until Q&A. So why don't we jump into Q&A and then I'll, as we go. Yeah, we'll just go back so we don't just sit and wait.
So you'll just work with it. Well, here's an immediate question about can the public plugin showcase be seen from the public website? Like if you're not logged in, I guess he means if you're not logged in, can you see any plugins?
Not yet, but we're actually going to be adding a page where we will list all the various plugins that you can add, public.
Okay, and if it's a consolation, someone's pointing out that they're having problems with Tiggzi.com, so it might just be, so who knows what it is.
All right. Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Let's see. I think we kind of covered a lot in a brief amount of time.
See, I'm not sure. Definitely some network issues here.
Yeah. All right. Here's a question about the, what other, we don't have any public plugins right now because but the question is, what other plugins do you think will be the first to be public? What types of plugins?
Well, we'll try something. I mean, we've been using Twitter a lot, so that's one example, something we can make it easily available. Something like this, AT&T, I mean, I think also could be a good example. We've been working with Parse.com, which provides mobile backends. So we'll create plugins for them because, again, we use them a lot, and I know that some of our users also use them. But so Parse, for example, obviously requires you to provide two parameters to authenticate against the service. So, those fields, for example, those will be empty. So we'll create the service, have the parameters, but then you'll have to go and, of course, enter your application-specific values.
Well, here's an interesting, more technical question detailed question about the example you were using. It's about get. It says the get token is run every time. Can it be run once and then just used in the following SMS request?
Well, that's what happens. It runs once and then it's used in the request. Now, no, because it expires in about 7 seconds.
Mm-hmm. So
the next time you send a message, I'm assuming it's going to be not within 7 seconds. Then you have to get a new token.
Okay.
And again, all these, AT&T works this way. Some other service might work, a different way. Maybe you can reuse the same one. It's just how the API works. So again, every API will be pretty much, different out there.
Do you know of any kind of timeline for the public plugin catalog opening up? No?
It's in the next, couple of weeks. or maybe a month or so, we're going to be putting the public. I mean, if you actually have any suggestions for, again, a public API, I mean, do let us know, and we'll review it and we'll add it.
All right, and then here's another question I take to mean: are there any plans in terms of the public catalog for something that would be, I guess, if you developed a plugin, would you be able to sell it or sell the rights to use it? Are we thinking along those terms?
It's definitely something we thought about. I mean, it's not in our immediate, plans to create sort of a marketplace for different plugins. Again, it's kind of it's a nice, interesting idea, but it's something that we might do in the future. So anyhow, so we're back, and let me just do quickly. So this is AT&T SMS project template. All right, and this is AT&T. All right, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select add this plugin, and it's basically going to, of course, be the entire project. So add this plugin as a project template and click export. Oh, sorry, here we go. I guess let's do this, export. All right, and click OK, and then let's exit. All right, and then let's go to apps. And App Builder. All right, so you can see now the project is here. And so once I create this, let's just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
We'll have the screen and the services. So AT&T project with SMS. All right, so let's see. All right, almost there.
All right, we're in the red zone now.
Yeah, okay. So going to project, you can see the screen, and we can see the services. All right, well, you can see the screen right here, actually. This is the, right, so I based a new project on a template that I created via plugin. So, that's basically it. So as Charlie said, we're going to post this on, you're going to get an email with a link, but we're also going to post this on YouTube. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties, but I think at the end we got it working. So thank you for joining us today.